How differently Sigma males' brains are wired. Hello again, urbanists. Have you ever wondered what makes Sigma males so unique in the world of personality archetypes? While alphas often dominate conversations about leadership and power, Sigmas quietly challenge the status quo by thriving outside social hierarchies. These enigmatic individuals are known for their independence, introspection, and emotional intelligence. But what if their brains are actually wired differently? In this video, we'll uncover the fascinating psychological and neurological traits that might explain what sets Sigma males apart. Let's dive into the science and shake up your understanding of human behavior. Sigma males are often described as lone wolves, self-reliant, adaptable, and strategic thinkers who don't rely on social validation. They carve their own path rather than competing for dominance like alpha males. While alphas thrive in hierarchical environments, leading groups with confidence and charisma, Sigmas prefer autonomy and focus on their internal goals rather than external recognition. It's important to remember that these archetypes aren't about superiority. Instead, they represent different ways of approaching life, leadership, and relationships. In this exploration, we're not taking sides between alpha and sigma personalities, but seeking to understand what makes Sigma males so distinct at a psychological and perhaps neurological level. So could there really be something happening in the brains of Sigma males that leads to their unique approach to life? Let's find out. Personality isn't just behavior or personal choice. Science tells us it's deeply influenced by brain function and chemistry. Neuroscience provides insight into how different traits, like introversion, independence, or dominance, might emerge from subtle differences in how our brains are wired. For Sigma males, studies suggest a few key areas of the brain might play a role. Regions responsible for introspection, emotional regulation, and decision-making. Additionally, differences in dopamine regulation could explain why Sigmas prioritize internal satisfaction over external rewards, setting them apart from more socially driven archetypes like alphas. One defining trait of Sigma males is their comfort with solitude. Unlike alphas, who gain energy and motivation from social dominance and group engagement, Sigmas thrive in quiet environments. Neuroscience offers an explanation for this. The brains of reflective, introverted individuals tend to show heightened activity in regions associated with imagination and planning during periods of solitude. This doesn't mean Sigma males are antisocial. Instead, their brains might prioritize deep processing during alone time, allowing them to plan strategically and think critically without the noise of external opinions. Solitude becomes a key driver of their success, not as a form of retreat, but as a powerful tool for mental clarity. Sigma males are known for their autonomy. They prefer to rely on their own instincts and strategies rather than following group norms or social expectations. From a neurological perspective, this trait might stem from heightened activity in the brain regions responsible for decision-making and self-regulation, such as the prefrontal cortex. Research shows that highly independent individuals tend to engage in greater cognitive reflection when making choices. This means Sigmas are more likely to weigh long-term consequences over short-term gratification. Their brains may encourage them to prioritize logic and critical thinking over emotional impulse, giving them a unique edge in leadership and problem-solving. While Sigmas might appear reserved, they often score highly when it comes to emotional intelligence. They understand themselves and others deeply, analyzing emotions without letting them dictate their actions. Neurological studies of emotional regulation suggest that this skill comes from a fine balance between two brain regions, the amygdala, which processes emotional stimuli, and the prefrontal cortex, which regulates responses to those emotions. This balance allows Sigma males to remain calm under pressure, making them adaptable in ways that stand in stark contrast to the dominance-driven responses of alphas. For example, while an alpha might assert control in a tense situation, a Sigma would focus on observing dynamics and responding strategically. One of the big questions is why Sigma males are so internally motivated. Alphas are often driven by social rewards, status, recognition, and group leadership. In contrast, Sigmas seem to find fulfillment within themselves. Neuroscience points to differences in dopamine regulation as a possible factor. Dopamine, often called the reward chemical, is released in response to achievements or external validation. Research suggests that people less dependent on external rewards may produce dopamine through intrinsic achievements, such as mastering a skill or solving a problem. For Sigma males, this could explain their drive to perfect themselves and seek self-satisfaction without relying on social hierarchies for motivation. Where alphas thrive on the energy of collective environments, Sigmas succeed by operating independently. The social dominance of alphas may come from greater development in brain regions related to reward-seeking behaviors, such as the striatum. This makes them more attuned to external validation and group dynamics. Sigmas, on the other hand, likely exhibit stronger activity in neural pathways associated with introspection and self-regulation. Their autonomy might stem from a reduced reliance on brain regions linked to social dependency, allowing them to operate effectively without the need for constant affirmation. This difference doesn't make one archetype better than the other. It simply highlights how unique brain wiring likely shapes behavior and motivation in fascinatingly distinct ways. Leadership is another area where Sigmas and alphas diverge. Alphas often lead from the front, using charisma and assertiveness to inspire teams. This style of leadership hinges on group dynamics and their ability to command attention. Sigma males, by contrast, prefer quiet leadership. They lead by example or strategy rather than demanding dominance. Sigmas focus on achieving results, often working behind the scenes to guide progress. Their preference for independence allows them to make decisions unclouded by groupthink, which can make them particularly effective in creative or high-pressure environments. Are Sigma males born or made? This long-standing debate applies here too. Neuroscience provides evidence for both biological and environmental influences on Sigma behavior. For instance, genetic predispositions might contribute to introverted tendencies. Meanwhile, life experiences, such as being an outsider in social circles, could foster independence and introspection over time. It's likely that Sigma males emerge through a combination of innate traits and life circumstances. This blend of nature and nurture makes them intriguing figures in the world of psychology. Sigma males approach relationships differently from alphas. While alphas build broad social networks, Sigmas often focus on fewer, deeper connections. This preference might arise from their brain's prioritization of quality over quantity in social interactions. Rather than seeking validation, they value mutual respect and understanding in their relationships. Sigmas adapt seamlessly between solitude and limited collaboration, making their connections purposeful rather than obligatory. Could Sigma males represent an evolutionary adaptation? In today's world, where independence and individual initiative are increasingly valued, the Sigma archetype might be a reflection of modern societal needs. Much like lone wolves in nature, Sigmas excel in specialized niches that require self-sufficiency, adaptability, and strategic thinking. While alphas have long thrived in traditional hierarchical structures, Sigmas may be better equipped for a world that rewards quiet innovation and independent success. It's easy to misinterpret Sigma males as antisocial or detached, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Their preference for solitude is not a rejection of connection, but a means to recharge and focus. Similarly, their independence doesn't imply a disdain for collaboration. It simply means they prefer autonomy over group conformity. Addressing these misconceptions is key to understanding the depth of the Sigma personality. As we've seen, Sigma males' unique traits, like introspection, self-reliance, and emotional intelligence, might be deeply rooted in their brain wiring. Whether it's their comfort with solitude, strategic thinking, or internal motivation, science suggests there are fascinating neurological and psychological factors at play. So what role do Sigma males play in our evolving world? Are they lone wolves navigating society on their own terms, or are they the pioneers of a more independent future? The answer is up for debate, but one thing's certain: the mystery of Sigma males continues to captivate and challenge our understanding of human behavior. What do you think? Are Sigma males a product of nature, nurture, or both? Let's explore the truth together and keep the conversation alive.